In the church, priesthood is such an important topic, such an essential element, but also such a divisive concept because it seems to divide men from women. This is an issue that many people, women as well as men, wrestle with and trying to make sense of what does it mean to hold the priesthood? What does it mean to receive the priesthood? Is priesthood people? Is it power? Is it authority? Is it what I receive? Is it what I give? Is it ordination to an office? There is so much to this. I have been reading some fascinating books lately about women and priesthood, and it's amazing to see the power that God offers to his daughters as well as his sons. In fact, back in 2013, President Linda K. Burton, General Relief Society president of the church, was speaking to the women of the church at BYU Education Week, at BYU Women's Conference. So even more, a very focused audience. And the leader of the sisters of the church, speaking to the sisters of the church, she said this, "I invite you to memorize the oath and covenant of the priesthood," which can be found in Doctrine and Covenants, section 84, verse 33 to 44. "By doing so, I promise you that the Holy Ghost will expand your understanding of the priesthood and inspire and uplift you in wonderful ways." Now, at first glance, this would sound like the General Young Men's president telling all of the boys to go go memorize the young women's theme. But that's not what this is. This is God's daughters needing to know the oath and covenant of the priesthood as clearly as God's sons do, because the oath and covenant applies to them just as much, because priesthood applies to women just as much. Remember, this whole conversation about priesthood in section 84 is in the context of the temple. How did the revelation begin? I'm trying to restore my people to me. I'm trying to bring the family back together, sons and daughters returning to father and mother, and to see in that eternal companionship that is forged by temple work. You're going to need to build this temple, gather to do that. We need New Jerusalem. We need Zion. We need everyone gathered in to be restored to a right relationship. And that relationship will require priesthood. So to think about it in terms of temple priesthood, where women and men are both officiating side by side, where your roles as king and queen, priest and priestess are made crystal clear. I think too often we're focused on what's happening at home, which is only second place to the temple, or more often at church, which is a distant third place to the temple. We're fighting over a bronze medal here, when the gold medal has been assured to everyone who comes into the house of the Lord. To understand that reality and the equality of the genders within priesthood there is incredible. And to see it hinted at in the oath and covenant, no wonder President Burton invited us all to memorize this. Well, we can do a cheat sheet. Look at your page and start in verse 31 and 32. Technically, she said, don't start memorizing until 33, but we got to build some momentum. 31 and 32. "Therefore, as I said concerning the sons of Moses." So, that's what I was talking about. Let's get back to that subject. "For the sons of Moses and also the sons of Aaron shall offer an acceptable offering and sacrifice in the house of the Lord, which house shall be built unto the Lord in this generation, upon the consecrated spot as I have appointed. And the sons of Moses and of Aaron shall be filled with the glory of the Lord upon Mount Zion in the Lord's house, whose sons are ye, and also many whom I have called and sent forth to build up my church." Now, if you read verses 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then jumped straight to 31, you wouldn't have missed a beat. Well, you would have missed an incredible tangent with an amazing lesson we just covered. But in terms of temple and glory, and Mount Zion, that was all mentioned back in verse 3, 4, 5. And here we are picking it up in 31 and 32. What will the role of the sons and daughters of Moses be doing? Well, in the temple, they will be sacrificing and giving an acceptable offering. You remember what Malachi taught in Malachi 3, that the sons of Levi, what tribe was Moses and Aaron from? Levi. Oh, the sons of Levi will offer an offering unto the Lord in righteousness. That's what it's saying right there, here in section 84. Later on in section, 128, he'll describe that offering in righteousness is the record of our dead. Oh, what we do in the temple. The temple is what links us to the sons of Levi. The temple is what grounds us in priesthood power, as in Aaron and Moses. And for us to give God that kind of offering so that all of his daughters and sons can be restored to their heavenly parentage, their heavenly home. That's what this is all for. This is not just talking about bishoprics and Relief Society presidencies. This is not young men and young women. This is temple context. And in the context of the temple, let's talk about the glory of the Lord that comes upon both genders as they administer ordinances to themselves, women to women, men to men, to see this happen. Well, notice verse 33 and 34 then, as we come into what we technically refer to as the oath and covenant. Whoso is faithful unto the obtaining these two priesthoods, of which I have spoken, and the magnifying their calling, are sanctified by the Spirit unto the renewing of their bodies. They become the sons of Moses and of Aaron, and the seed of Abraham, and the church and kingdom, and the elect of God. Now, it's easy to read masculinity into that verse because of words like sons. But to think about seed, which is not gender specific, to think about church and kingdom and elect, which involves elect ladies, thank you, Emma, as much as elect men. Do you understand? We have to obtain these two priesthoods. But what? Obtain their authorities or obtain their ordinances? Yes, authority is essential to receive ordinances, but what did we see already? The Lord emphasizes ordinances. That's the key. And so to receive all of them, to obtain every ordinance, all the preparatory ones through Aaronic, and all the ones that are presenting us to God through Melchizedek. If that's what we are receiving, if we are magnifying every calling we receive to be cleansed, to be made holy, God is calling us up to the Aaronic terrestrial level. He's calling us up to the Melchizedek celestial level. And if we will magnify those callings to come unto him, then the Spirit will sanctify us. Our bodies will be renewed. Ask a 100-year-old prophet about that. Ask about people who waste and wear out their lives in the temple of God, and they just keep on going, bodies renewed as they serve. Those are sons and daughters of Moses and Aaron. Add Miriam to the mix, the prophetess. These are sons and daughters of Levi being sanctified so that they can offer God their all in holiness. From there, he then says in verse 35 and to 38, also all they who receive this priesthood. This makes it even more clear than before. Receiving the priesthood, not being ordained to an office in it alone, but receiving its power, its blessings, its ordinances. And those who receive this priesthood receive me, saith the Lord. And then these dominoes that then fall. For he that receiveth my servants receiveth me. And he that receiveth me receiveth my Father. And he that receiveth my Father receiveth my Father's kingdom. And how's this for the crescendo and climax? Therefore, all that my Father hath shall be given unto them. Think about that. Servants to son, to Father's kingdom, all that the Father has. Can you picture Moses seeking diligently to sanctify his people so that they can behold the face of God? Can you picture the Lord's attempts to usher us in to his mysteries, to his knowledge, to see his face, to partake of his godliness? That's what is being offered here. But we have to receive. And as an old wide receiver in a former life, I testify that receiving is not a passive activity. It is an active verb. And it will take all our effort to receive those blessings in the spirit with which God is offering them to us. If you look at verse 39, and here we'll stop this discussion of the oath and covenant. This is where we get that title. This is according to the oath and covenant which belongeth to the priesthood. Do you see the priesthood as something that we agree to? That's an oath. And the priesthood as something that connects us to God. That's the covenant. And to enter into this, to accept this oath and to enter into this covenant, a covenant whereby we promise to receive. All that God in his generosity is trying to offer us. Here, with this whole time, we thought we were the ones offering things to God in righteousness. And yes, we're trying to. But really, this is all about what God is offering each of us. It staggers the mind. It blows the imagination. It's beyond anything we can conceive. And if we can start trying to wrap our heads around what God is giving us with an oath and through a covenant, then perhaps we will be more open to receive things in his way and in his time. This is an ongoing restoration. President Nelson has made that clear. And the more I am open to what God is restoring, the more restored I happen to feel. God is restoring us. He made an oath and covenant to do so. And by receiving priesthood ordinances, we are allowing God to perform that saving work.